It is time for you to wake up. So we will start from the top here with a photo of Brigitte Macron. Real name, Jean-Michel Trogneau. That person that you are looking at on the right is not a woman. Okay? Here is a photo, by the way, just over the years, Jean-Michel Trogneau, as he became Brigitte. As I said, the evidence for this is overwhelming. That second photo, I believe they found a photo of him at a pride parade when he was just living as a homosexual man. That next photo is when the transition began, if I recall correctly, and that's a photo from the professor years, and professor years of Brigitte Macron.
Just in case you need any more proof that the president of France is in fact married to a man.
I believe she's a man. How many more times can I say it? How many more ways can I say it?
If Brigitte Macron was born a woman, why is the French government acting like the truth is a state secret? Candace Owens has put her reputation on the line by making a bold claim. Brigitte Macron was born a man. This accusation, if false, could be easily debunked with a single statement from the French government. Yet, instead of a straightforward denial, Macron's team is doing everything except answering the question. A simple, yes, Brigitte Macron was always a biological woman would end this discussion instantly. But that statement has never been made. Instead, Macron's legal team sent a 100-page document filled with legal threats, citing defamation and the supposed mental anguish caused by these claims. But here's the catch. Nowhere in that legal response do they actually state the obvious. That Brigitte was born female. Why dance around the answer? Why not just say it? This isn't just about Candace's claim anymore, it's about the reaction to it. If a statement is so outrageous, wouldn't the response be immediate and firm? Instead, what we got was panic, legal threats, and an attempt to silence the conversation. And this silence extends beyond the Macrons. France's mainstream media is noticeably avoiding the topic. French journalists who have no problem investigating powerful figures suddenly seem terrified to even touch this story. The question is, why? Candace isn't accusing Brigitte of anything illegal. She isn't attacking transgender people. She's simply asking, why the secrecy? If there's no truth to these claims, why is the government acting like a cover-up is necessary? Adding more fuel to the fire, Candace sent 21 direct, simple questions to the Macron team. These were not complex conspiracy theories, just straightforward, yes or no questions. Among them, is the girl in the widely circulated communion photo really Brigitte Macron? Did Brigitte ever go by the name Veronique? Why are there no confirmed school photos of Brigitte? Has Brigitte ever been pictured with her alleged brother, Jean-Michel Trogneau? Macron's team could have put an end to this by simply answering them. Instead, they ignored every single question. And that's where things get suspicious. If there were nothing to hide, wouldn't they want to clear the air? Instead, we got evasion, intimidation, and legal threats. This isn't just a controversy. It's becoming one of the biggest gaslighting attempts in modern history. If Brigitte Macron's past is so ordinary, why does the French press act like it's off limits? In any other case, a high-profile figure like Brigitte Macron would be subject to routine investigative journalism. The press would dive deep into her background, childhood, education, and family history. Yet, when it comes to France's First Lady, the media is suspiciously silent. French journalists, who have no problem exposing political scandals, financial fraud, and personal affairs of public figures, refuse to touch this story. Why? A carefully crafted timeline of Brigitte Macron's life has been published in French media, but it's too perfect. It leaves out critical details, dodges certain time periods, and fails to provide any real evidence of Brigitte's youth. The result? A controlled narrative that feels more like PR damage control than genuine reporting. One of the most glaring questions Candace Owens has raised is the absence of childhood photographs of Brigitte Macron.
We don't have school photos of the First Lady. We can't get our hands on it. Why Xavier Poussard cannot get his hands on Brigitte Macron's alleged brother, who I believe Brigitte Macron is, why we can't get our hands on Jean-Michel Trogneau's military records.
Not a single verified school photo, no class pictures, no yearbook images, nothing. For someone who has been in the public eye for years, this is bizarre. Even France's most elite families have documented childhoods. So why is Brigitte Macron seemingly an exception? Adding to the mystery is Jean-Michel Trogneau, the man officially listed as Brigitte's brother. Yet, for all the years that Brigitte has been in the public eye, there has never been a single photograph of them together. No casual photos, no family gatherings, no verified proof of their sibling relationship.
Do PBD is demand a DNA blood test. That's it.
It's over.
Bro, it's a wrap. Just blood, now go.
In an era where journalists can uncover hidden family connections, leak documents, and secret affairs, how is it that not a single reporter has produced concrete evidence of Brigitte's past? Candace has made one thing clear: this is not about being anti-trans. If Brigitte Macron had transitioned, why not just be honest about it? The issue here is secrecy, not gender identity. If Brigitte was born male, why go to such lengths to hide it? If she was born female, why not present the proof and end the controversy?
Legally speaking, it was an implausibly stupid move what they did, okay? While refusing to just plainly state that Brigitte Macron, the current First Lady of France, was indeed born a woman.
The reluctance to provide a direct answer is what fuels speculation. The French media's silence speaks volumes. Journalists aren't asking the hard questions because they know they aren't allowed to. The level of fear and control surrounding this topic is more revealing than any investigation. If there is nothing to hide, why is the truth so protected? If this were anyone else, we'd be calling it grooming. But for the Macrons, it was packaged as a fairy tale. When Emmanuel Macron was just 14 years old, he met Brigitte Trogneau, a 39-year-old drama teacher at his school. At the time, she was married with 3 children, one of whom was in the same class as Emmanuel. Imagine if the roles were reversed? A male teacher, almost 40 years old, developing a close relationship with a 14-year-old girl. The public outrage would be immediate. It would be labeled exactly what it is: predatory behavior. Yet, in the case of Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron, this relationship was repackaged into a romantic fairy tale, a love that defied all odds. Instead of scrutiny, the media glorified it.
I will state this again and again, was just 14 years old when he appeared in a school play at his school called La Providence. Brigitte, at that time, was a teacher at the same school who ran a theater workshop.
Instead of raising questions, they sold it as a story of devotion and destiny. The most unsettling aspect of this so-called romance is Brigitte's dual role in young Emmanuel's life. She was not just his teacher, she was also a mother figure. Her own biological child was in the same class as Emmanuel, meaning she was interacting with both as students while secretly developing a relationship with one of them. This raises serious ethical and moral concerns. How did the school not intervene? How did other teachers, parents, or authorities overlook the clear power imbalance? If Brigitte had been anyone else, this would have been a criminal case, not a celebrated love story. To ensure that the world saw their relationship in the right light, Macron's team launched a carefully controlled PR campaign. Brigitte and Emmanuel appeared on countless magazine covers, always framed as a couple who had endured difficulties but found happiness together. Instead of acknowledging the deeply problematic origins of their relationship, the press painted Brigitte as an inspirational figure, a woman who waited for Emmanuel and supported his ambitions. No mainstream journalists dared to challenge the story, they simply repeated the narrative. To fully control public perception, the Macrons enlisted the help of the Pope of celebrity press. This media mastermind, known for shaping the image of major public figures, was brought in to gloss over the unsettling details of the relationship and ensure that only the fairy tale version remained. This wasn't just PR, it was a full-blown propaganda campaign to manipulate public opinion, and it worked. If their relationship was truly innocent, why spend decades trying to reframe it? Why push cover after cover, trying to convince the public that this was a beautiful love story instead of an ethical and moral scandal? The Macrons have done everything possible to bury the truth about their relationship, but as more people begin questioning the fairy tale they've been sold, it's clear that the cracks in this narrative are beginning to show. What could be so damning about Macron's private life that it triggered an international meltdown? When the FBI raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in 2022, the world was told it was about classified documents. But buried in those files was something unexpected: intelligence on French President Emmanuel Macron's personal life. The moment this detail was leaked, an international panic ensued. According to Rolling Stone, officials in both the US and France went into damage control mode, scrambling to figure out exactly what Trump had and how dangerous it could be. The most pressing question is, Why did this intelligence cause such a freakout? If it was just rumors, Macron and his team could have laughed it off. If there was nothing to hide, there would have been no need for a coordinated crisis response. Instead, Macron's team acted as if national security had been breached, as if whatever Trump had in those files posed an existential threat to the French presidency. In the aftermath of the leak, Macron reportedly ordered a secretive operation to retrieve Trump's intelligence. French intelligence agencies were reportedly involved in an aggressive campaign to track down and suppress any documents that could further expose Macron's past. This reaction raises serious red flags. Why would a world leader care so much about what an American president had in his possession? Unless, of course, it confirmed something they were desperate to keep hidden. It's no secret that Trump loves to tease that he has dirt on people. But in this case, he didn't just hint, he openly bragged about it. According to Rolling Stone, Trump privately told people that he had information on Macron's private life, and the intelligence was significant enough to shake the French government. This isn't speculation. This is information coming directly from US and French officials, who admitted that both nations were scrambling to assess how much damage the leak could cause. If Trump's files contain confirmation of Candace Owens' claims, then this is no longer a conspiracy theory, this is an international cover-up. If world leaders are willing to go to extreme lengths to suppress information about Macron, what else is being hidden? What would happen if these documents were ever made public? And most importantly, why is no mainstream journalist asking these questions? With Trump hinting that he still holds leverage, and with Macron's team acting as if their entire government could crumble, this scandal may be far from over. At what point do we stop calling it coincidence and start calling it a pattern? For years, Brigitte Macron's past has been carefully managed, scrubbed, and protected by legal threats. But beyond the missing school photos, the unverified identity of her so-called brother, and the refusal to answer simple questions, there are bizarre and disturbing details that raise even more questions.
Let this run.
C'est bon de renaître. Mais longtemps. La sœur aveugle et muette. La nuit. Qu'est-ce qui fait le plus peur aux hommes? L'aboiement d'un chien. L'ombre d'un homme.
One of the most shocking revelations tied to Brigitte Macron is her alleged involvement in redesigning the Notre Dame Cathedral spire. After the devastating fire in 2019, a debate erupted over whether the iconic structure should be restored traditionally or modernized. What many don't know is that a former French culture minister publicly admitted that Brigitte pushed for an erect phallus with golden balls to serve as the new spire. Yes, you read that correctly. This isn't a conspiracy. This was openly admitted by those who worked on the restoration plans. The Daily Mail even covered the bizarre claim, revealing that this wasn't just a random proposal, it was a serious consideration at the highest levels of the French government. Brigitte's obsession with provocative, borderline grotesque art has raised serious questions about her true influences and worldview. Candace Owens has called the entire situation surrounding Brigitte Macron the biggest gaslight in history. For years, French media and government officials have worked overtime to shut down any discussion about Brigitte's past. Instead of offering transparency, they've responded with 100-page legal threats, vague statements about mental anguish.
This reporting has caused Brigitte to have mental anguish. Okay.
A refusal to answer simple yes or no questions. If Brigitte Macron has nothing to hide, why resort to legal intimidation? If this is all nonsense, why not end it in a single sentence? Brigitte Macron was born a woman. Yet, they won't say it. Candace points out that Brigitte Macron's past isn't just a minor controversy, it's a full-scale cover-up. From erased school records to a lack of childhood photos, the level of secrecy around Brigitte's origins is unprecedented for a public figure of her stature. Even Brigitte's alleged brother, Jean-Michel Trudeau, has never been seen in a photo with her. In a world where politicians and celebrities document every inch of their lives, this is beyond unusual. It's deliberate. At this point, Candace refuses to dance around the issue. Brigitte Macron has had every opportunity to address this publicly, factually, and definitively. Instead, her team chooses to silence, threaten, and avoid.